Wow, it's really amazing to have so many Zoomers here. It's already 11:15 on a night, the last Motzi Shabbos of the year. I want to remind everybody that if you, after the shir, if you didn't eat yet a malava malka, you certainly should eat a malava malka, a quick malava malka, having in mind to fortify the luz bone, having in mind that it's Sudas Malka, David Mashiach, David HaMelech. Was told that he would die on Shabbos, and every time a Shabbos was over, he celebrated that he would have another week. And of course, we honor the Shabbos, b'knisasa, yubiyitziasa, when it comes in and it leaves. And again, everything that we do now, this is the last Sunday of the year. We could correct all the Sundays of the year. Those that work and they're off on Sunday, make sure to learn more Torah, because Hashem looks at your Sunday and says, well, I know you'd learn the whole week. You have to work, but I see how you do on Sunday. And Nebuch, there are families that they spend the first half of the Sunday fighting about what they're going to do, and the second half of the Sunday regretting that there's no time to do anything anymore. Make sure not to allow a Sunday to be a time where couples fight. Remember, we're putting our best face forward for the Rabbeinu Shalom and telling him it's a new me. I'm bringing a new me to Rosh Hashanah. We are continuing on this journey through Zevachim with Akar Satayv to my brother Yisrael and his wife Rachel. Who knows how many people I'm keeping up with this share. I feel very bad about it. And we are holding on Daf Vav Amud Aleph, and we are holding 9 lines from the top. Amalei Rav Asi Rav Ashi Umina. If we say that the children acquire the carbon, that's why one could affect the Tmura. You can't have two because two are not Aimer, but that's why one could affect the Tmura. If you say that they can't acquire it, then heichi meimer, then how could even one affect the Tumura? The one who dedicates something to Hektish, when he redeems it, he has to add a fifth. And the one who receives the atonement from the animal can affect the exchange. And if I take truma from my crops to be yotzi your chiyuv truma, I'm the one that gets to decide which kayin to give it to. Toivus hana shel loy. The toivus hana is the one that separates the truma. But the bottom line is that we see over here that since it says miskaper oisa tmura, we said that the ears can't do it if they're shutfin, but they can do it if they're an individual. If they can do it if they're an individual, that means they must be a miskaper. That means they must acquire it. Says the Gemara, no. Mikiva loy mechapra. From the main effect of the carbon, they don't get atonement. Mikufya mechapra, they get some peripheral atonement. The peripheral atonement that they get is enough to allow them to be able to make a tamura. However, since they don't get real atonement, that's why if they inherit a mincha as shutfin, they could bring it, because it's not really theirs, and that's why Rabbi Lazar couldn't tell Reish Lakish that there is kapara from the woman's ola for the children, and they're getting a kapara for the bittul mitzvah saseh, because it's really not theirs. They don't acquire it, and since they don't acquire it, they don't get real atonement. Now, Ibayalahu, Kipru, let's say Herschel, they did a Shlomim Shaloi Lishma. So they offered up the Shlomim. So Kipru al Mashabo, or let's say it's an Oila. They offered up the Oila. Shaloi Lishma. Kipru al Mashabo does it. We said that he has to bring another one because it's Loyalu Labalim L'Shem Chayv. But does the first one atone for his mitzvahs asayis? I like Kipru. Or does it not atone? Amar Rav Sheshes Breder Avidi. So Rav Sheshes Breder Avidi says, Mistavid like Kipru. It's reasonable that it didn't atone. Diesel Kedaita Kipru, because if it atoned, then what's he bringing a second one for? Sheni Lamuba, why does he bring a second one? The Elamai like Kipru. What are you going to say, that the first one doesn't atone? Then why does he bring the first one? Lamhu Karev. So Amar Rav Ashi says, let me explain to you Rav Sheshes Breder Avidi's argument. Rav Sheshes Breder Avidi hachi kakashale. Amrit b'shleima, when Herschel offers the Eilish, it's done Shaloi Lishma, so he brings the first one, but it's like Alo Labal Mashem Chayva. Like Kipru, b'shleima like Kipru, it doesn't atone. But Shaloi Lishma, Kayach Lishma Ka'asi. The first one he brings, because since originally he separated it Lishma, so therefore it has to be brought. And the pasuk says, Kashen Nadarta Nadava, so now we bring it Shaloi Lishma because it was originally separated Lishma. And the second one is offered for atonement. V'sheni Lamau Ba L'chaper. But if the first one at the end of the day atones, so then why do you bring a second one? Eliyam at Kipru, if the first one does achieve atonement, then Sheni Lamoba. Why should you bring a second one? The first one you bring because it was originally done Lishma, so you have to bring it. The second one you bring for the atonement. But if the first one already achieves atonement, what do you bring the second one for? Now, Ibayalu, Gevaldik, to learn hard Gemara, to be Mekayim the mitzvah, v'dibar tabam, to show Hashem, Rebbeinu Shalom. You know, when I'm distracted and I don't have menuchas hanefesh, I can't learn well. And I want to learn Daf Yomi every single day this coming year. So please, Hashem, give me no distractions every single day of the year. That's our request to Hashem. Now,
do you want me to just continue staying on the daf?
No, you could stay because all of us need a kapara. Look, Mark said, perfect answer, Rabbi Weiss, perfect answer. Barry, we should get kaparas from you, bis 120. Talk about a backhanded bracha. I have to tell you, Barry, you're looking pretty good. B'li ayin hara, pretty good. Mamish, he's almost up to his old trouble already. Now,
almost.
Come
on, Rabbi White.
Barry, I thank Hashem that you're able to come to the share. It makes me so happy. Now,
so am I.
Ibayilhu. Here's an interesting question. This is a regular Ayla. This is a mamish. Barry got it right. He brought an Ayla. No problems. Lishma, L'shem Bailim. He got everything right. Unbelievable. Mamish Apella. He separates the Ayla. And then he misses Kriyashma. Can that Ayla still cover for his miss Kriyashma? or since he already separated, it's too late, he's going to have to bring another oila. Ibaylu, an oila is expensive. Ibaylu, asay de la'achar hafrasha. He's mavatal and asay after he already separates the oila. Mechapra, could it still cover that asay? Oiloi mechapra. Mi amrinon, mi de have achatas. Ma achatas, the koidim hafrasha in, for the sin that he does before the hafrasha, for the chilul Shabbos, for the chelev, for the dam, in the la'achar hafrasha loy, but for after hafrasha doesn't cover, afochanami, the koidim hafrasha in, for before hafrasha yes, la'achar hafrasha loy, oy dilma loy dami lechatas. It's not the same thing as a chatas, because chatas is only mechaper for one sin. Every time he's Mechal Shabbos, every time he eats chaylev, he has to bring a separate chatas. He has big investments in animals. The chatas, al kol chet v'chet b'oil isuya chad chatas. Here, one oila could cover 15 mitzvahs aseis. V'hacha came and ika kama asay gabei mechapra. So maybe a asay de la'achar afrasha, for an asay that comes after afrasha, nami mechapra. So the Gemara brings an interesting raya. Toshma, v'samach v'nirtza. You lean on the animal and it appeases. Says the Gemara, v'nirtza loy l'chaper olav. So the Gemara wonders, smicha doesn't bring kapara. Everybody who's anybody, any Barry, Marshall, Eddie, or Mark, anyone knows that I just picked those 4 names out of my head. Anybody knows that the zrika is mechaper, not the smicha. The chi smicha mechaper is v'loyein kapara lebedam. That's a big yesod in Kachim, that the kapara comes from blood. Ki adam hu anefesh mechaper. The kapara comes from the blood. Shenema ki adam hu benefesh yechaper. Elamat Talmud loyma v'samach v'nirtza lechaper. She'im asa l'smicha shiorei mitzvah. If Barry says, smicha, that's just steps, trimmings, and he leaves it out, mala lov akosav ki'ilu loy keeper. It's as if he didn't do the kapara of a keeper. Now, what does that mean? It's as if he didn't do the kapara and it's mechaper. My love, the keeper asay the koidim hafrasha. It's mechaper for the bittul mitzvah asay that he didn't say kriyishma, that he didn't say zeichel yitzias mitzrayim, that he didn't return the lost article, that he didn't stand up for an old man. The list could go on, but I don't want to bore you. Right? All kinds of mavat. But asay the smicha, the havelei asay the la'achar hafrasha, for the fact that he left out the mitzvah saseh of smicha that comes after, it's not mechaper. Like keeper asay the smicha, davalei asay the la'achar hafrasha. Says the Gemara, what? No. The reason why it's not mechaper for the smicha, it's a different reason. Because when Barry left it out, he could still do it all the way up to the minute that they shechted it. So it turns out that it only was a sin when they shechted it. To be mechaper after the shechita, nobody thinks. Amar Rava asay the smicha kamret. Shani hasim the kol kama deloy shachid. As long as they didn't shecht it, ba'moid v'smoichkai. They could keep on doing the smicha. Amos kahavi asay only la'achar shechita. It's only... He was only mevatel after they did the shechita. Nobody says that it's mechaper for something that happens after the shechita. La'achar shechita loy kama ba'ilon. Says the Gemara, it's no raya. It could be that you're mechaper even for an asay that comes after the afrasha. You're learning wrong pshat in the pasuk. The pasuk is not telling you that it's not mechaper for the fact that Barry did smicha. Amalei Rav Huna bar Yehuda l'Rava, Eimer, when it says keeper, like keeper, Eimer, keeper gavra, it means that he afforded the bare bones of the kapara, but like keeper kamei shmaya, he didn't do mahadrin min a mahadrin. He didn't gain reyach nichoyach before Hashem. He didn't get nachas from Hashem, because we find that elsewhere. The din is that in the purification ceremony of the leper, there's a loik shemen. From that loik shemen, the kohen puts the oil in the palm of another kohen. He dips his finger, he sprays it 7 times towards the oil mayed. Then he puts it on the bayin yad, bayin regel, and bayin oizen, yamanis, the big right toe, the big right thumb, and the ear, right ear, and then he takes the rest and he smears it on the head of the leper. What happens if he doesn't smear it on the head of the leper? So let's see the pasuk. Tanan, miloi tanan, vanoise b'shemen, and the remainder of the oil, asher al kaf, that's on the palm of the kohen, is put on the head of the Metzayra, lechaper alav lifnei Hashem. So the Gemara says that Rabbi Akiva holds that it's imperative to put the remainder on the head of the Metzayra. Im nasan keeper, v'im loy nasan loy keeper. If he puts it on, he atones. If he doesn't, he doesn't. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri Aimer Sharei Mitzvahin. It's only the residue, the remnants of the mitzvah. It's not the ikar of the mitzvah. Bein nitain, bein shaloi nitain, keeper. Whether he puts it on or not, it's mechaper. Or malin alav keilu loy keeper. But it's considered like a din to tone. My keilu loy keeper. What does it mean? It's considered like a din to tone. Ilema, that you have to bring another loik shemen. Ilema de mebayli suye carbon acharina. You have to bring another loik shemen. But it says ha'amid bein nitin bein loy nitin keeper. Whether you put it on, whether you didn't put it on, it affords kapara. Must be like harpshat, that it affords kapara, just it doesn't give nachas to the Rabbi Shalom. Ela keeper gavra, like keeper kamishmai, it doesn't bring the full nachas, the full mahadrim and mahadrim. So Hachanami here too, Barry was yaitzi the smicha. It just, he didn't give he's yaitzi the carbon, even when he left out the smicha. It just didn't give the nachas. Says the Gemara, well, it's no raya. Because maybe Hasam Nami keeper matan behind this. What it means is he achieved kapara for the placement on the big toe, big thumb, and big on the ear, but like keeper matnas haraish, but not mechaper for the head. So it's no raya which way. We can't bring a raya from here yet. So Tajma, Reb Shimon Aimer, here we bring from the lambs of Shavuos. Kivsei atzeres lamahein bon. So the Gemara says, I don't understand. What do you mean? What did the kivsei atzeres come for? Kivsei atzeres shlamim nino. They're shlamim. They're peace offerings. They come to be matzah the shtei alechem. What do you mean? Why did they come? Says, well, excuse me. Barry distracted us. We weren't talking about the kivsei atzeres. We're not talking about Ela seirei atzeres. These are the musafin of Shavuos, the goats of Shavuos. Lamahein boin. Oh, they come, as we learned extensively in Masechta Shavuos. They come for tumas mikdash u'kedoshev, for tuma when you entered into the mikdash or you ate kachim. Says the Gemara, al tumas mikdash u'kedoshev. So here's the question. Let's say Nizrik Damai Shel Rishon. There's 2 seirim. Let's say they sprinkled the blood of the first one, and then in between the first one and the second one, someone entered into the Mikdash while Tameh, or ate kachim b'tama, Sheni Lama Karev. Why is the second one offered? Al Tumah she'ora bein zeh lezeh. For Tumah that happened in between. Oh, Tumah that happened in between. Very interesting. Now that means the second one was already separated. And yet we say that before it's shechted, Tumah that happens in between, it's mechaper. So you see that even after the hafrasha, it's still mechaper. Lama karv al Tumah she'ura bein zeh lezeh ema ma'ata. The truth of the matter is we should always bring karbanos all the time, to always cover people that become tamei and eat kachim or enter into mikdash while tumah. Ru'ina Yisrael akrav karbaseim b'chol eisa b'chol shah, every time and every moment. Ela shechisik hakasim. The Torah is concerned about Mammon Shel Yisrael. So v'hahacha da'asei dal'acha afrasha. It happens after we separate, and the din is become a chapra, and it atones. Says the Gemara, well, who says we were mafresh the two karbanos at the same time? We were mafresh one, and then afterwards we were mafresh the second one. And it's talking about for Tumas Mikdash and Kedoshim in between the two afrashas. It wouldn't help for anything else. But it's talking about where they were mafresh one on Erev Yom Tov, and then they were mafresh an hour later, the second one. So therefore, in between the two afrashas, that's what's mechaper. But who says that it's mechaper for after afrasha? Says the Gemara, v'leiku v'leimalei l'kra. Are we going to say that the pasuk is talking about the chik siva b'zeh hazek siva? That pasuk is talking about where we were mafresh them an hour apart? Says the Gemara, you're right, but it's still no raya. Really, it's not mechaper for what happens after the afrasha. But you're talking about a communal tzibur, a communal carbon over here. A communal carbon only becomes activated right before you shecht it. Because Leiv Bezdin is masna, the Bezdin wants it to be prolonged till the last minute, that it should cover as many sins as possible. Says the Gemara, Amra Papa Karbanas Sibir Kamrit. Shani Karbanas Sibir, the Leiv Bezdin Kamasna Aleim. The heart of Bezdin stipulates that it should only be like it's mafresh right before the Shechita. Could Rabbi Yehuda Mashmol, Dam Rabbi Yehuda Mashmol Karbanas Sibir, Sakin Mishchasan L'mashein. The knife of the Shechita determines what they should be for. So therefore it's no raya that it's mechaper for after afrasha. But since it's a communal carbon, the second sar is like it's only separated right before the shechita. So we still don't have a raya what happens after afrasha. Now I want to tell you, Rabbi say, wow, you know what? Is it possible? Yeah, we did the whole two blot in an hour and 1 minute. That's really rather, Herschel can't believe that. He says, you're shortchanging me. He was expecting to be here a lot longer tonight. I know his wife isn't even going to know what to do with him. But the bottom line is, Rabbi say, I want to tell you that this is not easy Gemara. It's going to get easier. You shouldn't feel that this is easy Gemara, but we need it. We need hard Gemara. So now, what we're going to do now is we're going to learn the Mishnah Yomis, which is very easy. It's going to take just moments. It looks like the plan is 2 blot tomorrow night. Hashem should give me the koyach. But we're going to now do the Mishnah Yomis, starting the 6th parak of Menachos. It won't take more than 5 minutes. So if you have the time, stay with us.